Hello everyone, my name is Aryan. I welcome you all to my podcast, The Whisper Lane. Today we have Shrey Tyagi with us. He is the co-founder of Skillarena, India का अपना skill development platform. With Skillarena, he aims to revolutionize the way he acquires skills. In this episode, we will going to provide you with a complete roadmap to start your entrepreneurial journey. But before moving on, I just want to tell you that he is quite busy nowadays and does not go to a podcast and talk show. But on a special request to help someone with his knowledge and experience, he agrees to come on our show. So thank you, Shrey, for coming to the show and giving us your valuable time.
Pleasure, Arun. It's always good to interact with youngsters like you जो start कर रहे हैं so early in their first year, second years. So it's always special to see how the generation is coping up with the changing times. And earlier we used to think of that we would start a podcast someday. And now we see students like you taking initiatives, starting their own journey so early. So always a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to it.
That was so nice of you. But so before moving on, like I just want to know more about your 11th, 12th journey and college first year. Like you prepare for JE or you were like, no, college doesn't matter for me. I just want to do something big, something different.
Okay, so I come from a business background, so it was not about ki. Obviously, I wanted to do go to a good college, and obviously, you have a dream that you get your best preferred streams in a preferred college that you want, because I feel college is like the launch pad for your career with networking opportunities and the quality of people it surrounds you with. But considering this, I was like in my 11th, 12th, I was not that focused. I was playing football nationals for Reliance Foundation. So I was a national level athlete and I was being paid for that. But because of a medical emergency and injury in my right leg, my life took a detour and I had to uh, rethink of the plan to go to academics again. So my career has been purely into football. I've played it quite for a long time. But saying that, I was always decent in academics as well. I scored 95 in class 10th. Then class 11th, I did some miserable results because I was not going to school for a long time because of my sports. But in 12th again, I scored around 72, 73 in the first attempt. The thing was, I was not ready for exams to come on because my mind was still there that I was an athlete and I'm a sports person and this is not the life I wanted. But sooner or later, you as a human being, you have to um, adjust to the reality of your life. And I started adjusting to this. My class 12th results were an out opener, for an eye opener for me, and I've been a like an overachiever entire my life. So I realized that this is not me. I 72% doesn't define me. It's just the lack of focus and clear vision to what to do in my boards. So I took this personally. I took a drop year. I worked on myself physically, mentally, emotionally, and then I obviously appeared for many other exams, but including that, I appeared for my re-exams for class 12, improvement exams for class 12. So I scored around 90 plus percentage there in PCM. So my results were back again where I should be. And then I cleared couple of colleges. I'm not sure, but I was looking to do something on the management side, like a course like Bachelor's of Management Studies from Xavier's or DU, but I couldn't get into any of the institutions there. But yes, I received admission in multiple colleges. But then somebody told me about Bennett. So
Okay.
Bennett was there. That time there were no placement batches, matlab, no placement, nothing was out. Anything that you had was that the campus that they had. So that was good. So campus was decent, but fees and all was still like it didn't make sense. Matlab, you're a college who has not get delivered out any placement for any of your batches, and you're demanding something like a 5 lakh per annum for your studies. So that was quite peculiar for a college based out of Greater Noida, and they had to even tell their location कि परी चौक से यहाँ आना होता है, that is where our college is. So they were like a new startup in the college industry, right? So, but what was different was their mindset. So when I
Okay.
came to the orientation for the first time, I saw that a lot of parents were asking about placements कब होंगे, and do you have any guarantee of placements, any assurance, because you don't have any backdated history. But me and my father, because we come from, as I told you, I come from a business background, so he never forced me to look out for jobs. And at the same time, I also looked out for only one thing in that college, that was we support startups, we have an incubation, we provide startups with a fund if possible, and obviously we have network connects in the Times Media Group. So that was the particular launch pad I was looking for my life, that this is where I could start my journey at least. And not even if I receive the seed fund or any fund from the college, but at the same time, I can actually go around and use the plethora of networks that Times Group has to offer. So that is how it started. Nothing special about Bennett, but the fact was the positioning of their college name was very different, very strange that they were not talking about placements, because they didn't have placements to talk about back then. Today, though, they brand their placements very well, but that time they only had their brand name, and that brand name in a life of a youngster willing to start his own business someday, just aspirational again, no plans, was a good thing. So that is why I ended up in Bennett, and I've done decent in my academics, and side by side the journey went on to start Skillarena.
So, like in Indian culture, like Indian parents doesn't support sports that much, and that too other than cricket. So, how your parents react to your like sports journey if you continue? Like, ever happen like your parents didn't support you in your sports journey and all?
Right, exactly. It's not about just for sports, Arun. It's like whenever you do something unconventional, which the society or the world hasn't done in numbers, so they
Yeah.
obviously start doubting you. So I always say this in multiple of my speeches and where I go and tell someone, obviously youngsters, is that कि लोग हमें उस चीज के लिए मना नहीं करते हैं जो हम नहीं कर सकते, वो उस चीज के लिए मना करते हैं जो वो नहीं कर पाए.
Okay.
So most of the time, it's not about you that they don't believe in or the potential you have. It's not about you. It's about
Okay.
कि they could not have done this, or somebody else who is doing absolutely well in life वो भी नहीं कर पाता. तो आप कैसे
Okay.
करोगे? And that is what happens with unconventional streams, like startups, like football, like something like into I want to become an actor, I want to become a hairdresser or something like that. I want to become a fashion designer. So stuff what people, the roads that are less traveled, obviously pursue a lot of doubts in front of, especially the societal people who go around with societal norms and considering our parents as well in that. So yes, there was, and I feel the biggest solution to this is that make some drawing of your own. So if you are
Okay.
on day one of something, suppose you want to play football nationals and you're not playing football nationals, and you are talking about that I want to play football nationals for my country, right? That is not the way to go about it. First, start working on yourself. Wake up 4 a.m. The lifestyle you want of an athlete. Give 8, 9, 10 hours of your day to your sports. Obviously, there will be fights with your parents or difference of opinions that you should pursue your academics, right? Pursue your conventional streams of education. But at the same time, what happens is they soon or sooner or later they're going to realize that yes, he has made something of his own. He has won some district championship, some state championship, won some tournament, some medal, something he's getting. Means people are addressing what he is capable of. Now, when you have drawn something on the blackboard, I'm not saying on a whiteboard or a blackboard, you have drawn something which is not perfect, but yes, it is yet something that it is your effort. Now you go to your parents or someone who is in the decision making and tell them, I am capable of this and I want to pursue this. there are better chances than day one that you will be able to do it. So you have to make sure that you have a case study before you go to someone in any
Yeah.
unconventional field. So do something from at least travel your 0 to 1 journey, and then
Okay.
go to your parents and tell ki, bhai, I want to start this. I've done this much without your support, without any external money, and I'll do much more if you give me the support that I'm requiring. So I feel
Okay.
better opportunities, and that is what the same case that happened with me.
So it was like first you have to start. Like main thing is starting with something. Main point is like execution. Okay. So
Absolutely, absolutely.
so at any point of your journey till now, have you ever felt of like I should be in better college, then it would be better if I was in a better college? Like ever happened to you?
देखो मतलब I'm a very keen believer of the fact that I don't look out onto my I don't carry my past with myself. मतलब
Okay.
the work I'm kind of I pull off every day. Something or the other thing happens every week that is not up to the mark. So
Okay.
we are going through a constant wave of crests and troughs, which are in sine curve. So someday we are at one, someday we are at -1. But if we start to carry forward our failures with us, or the baggage that suppose we were not in a good college, or suppose we don't come from a well-off family, suppose our parents didn't support us, or we would also be there, right? So rather than thinking about what went wrong, think about what you have. So there are still people who slept on railway tracks for 50 to 53 days and became one of the biggest national actors of India, Anupam Kher sir. So
Yeah.
a lot is there to see, right? So what we do is as human beings, we are very less grateful about what we have, right? So at least I had the opportunity to come to Bennett and see what shaped my journey in the future. So maybe if I would have went for some tier one school college like the Xavier's or somewhere, maybe the connections would be different. But at the same time, I don't complain about this today because it is all in my past.
So like now we'll move to the skill arena part. Like how did it all started? When did you start skill arena? What was your inspiration to start it? Like what motivates you?
So I always feel like as entrepreneurs, passion and purpose are the two things we should be very clear about. Passion about the problem and the purpose should be very clear, because at the end of the day, the purpose keeps you going. Matlab, everything is gonna fade away, but if your vision is clear, it's like driving on a road with fog and driving on a road without fog. So you'll have better clarity when you don't have the fog on the road. So that is the job of your purpose that keeps you going. Number one. And I always strongly believe that we should solve problems that we relate to, or we have a pain related to, or our loved ones have a pain related to. So, suppose in the case you want to build a medical app, or you want to build a smartwatch app that reminds your grandparents to take their medicines on time, suppose, and you will be more and more passionate about that app because you care about your grandparents, right? So what I'm trying to say is Skillarena is no such special startup in the like what we have built. We have built just a basic idea with great execution at scale, and that is what we have done at Skillarena. So it's very simple. When we were in college, as I said, I was in a college whose placement batch was still going out. So I had zero clarity about how internships, how live projects, and how WorkX is gained during your college years. Today, though, the scenario is very different. Matlab, today, though, you have massive opportunities. You have LinkedIn. You
Yeah.
have awareness to use LinkedIn. Right? That time, LinkedIn was a tool which we didn't even know how to use back then, because no workshop, nobody introduced us to that. You have to use your LinkedIn to network. All we had was a resume, right? A CV that we used to create. So, and no networking opportunities other than events. So how do you grab jobs? How do you grab internships? How do you upskill yourself. Today also till date, I'll tell you the market, how rapidly the market changes. Uh, App development, web dev, everybody is aware that these are the courses that you require if you want to. This is the most open career options for engineers today, tech guys today, that they go around with, either full stack, back end, or front end, or UI, or anything. It's all about digital platforms today, right? How many colleges teach you end-to-end website development as a course? They'll
I
give
don't
you
think.
they'll give you 3 months of Python, JavaScript, Java, right? DSA. They'll still brush up your basics, which I'm not against of. But the fact is, it's just like you have to sharpen up those basics also. You have to tell them where to use them, right? So also talk about on the management side. Today, everything is going on either performance marketing, either influencer marketing, either podcast marketing, either guerrilla marketing. So digital marketing itself has 30 marketing has 30 different fields. Digital marketing is a subset of it. Then there are multiple ways of marketing again. How many colleges are teaching ad marketing today or performance marketing today? How many IIMs teach that? And they all know that their own colleges take intake basis the ads they run.
Okay.
90% colleges run ads on either Google ads or on Instagram or somewhere or the other, right? The top 90, if we talk about top 500 colleges of India, they make most of their student intakes with outbound activities on the digital media, right? How
Yeah.
many of them are teaching digital marketing as a course, not a credit, as a course in their program, in their degree? And not only digital marketing, in depth social media marketing or performance marketing or guerrilla marketing or podcasting or something like that. How many of the colleges in the digital world are teaching you about editing? Today an editor
Yeah.
makes for 30, 40, 50, 60K. Who's teaching editing to you? You have to still go to Arena Animation or some editing schools, or you have to do a course online, or you are all by yourself. So what I'm trying to say is the gap between the campus and corporate is constantly increasing, right? And it has multiple stakeholders in it. It is people like students like us, me, you, students of life, who refuse to upskill. We also have a problem that we don't want to upskill. We came to the college, we are settled down, placement to ho hi jayegi, and jo bhi mindset hai. So we are not ready to upskill, number one. Okay, so that is also a problem. But the problem is also with the system. The colleges want to spend a lot of money on events, on after parties, on alumni meets, on networking events, but they have a skill development budget of a minuscule size. So if you're not investing in the upskilling and reskilling of your youngsters, how do you expect them to perform in placements? The masses of it, right? Uh, this is number two. Number three, the corporates also have a problem. So when a child is born and his or her, the early 1 to 5 years are said to be the most crucial years of shaping the child's character. Either he'll become a thief or he'll become a leader. So he or she'll learn empathy, sympathy, compassion, or anger. So these are the time when we invest in a kid, right? The most crucial, 1 to 5, 1 to 7. Same is when you go out from a college to your corporate. That transition is also like a new world for you. You have bases and perspectives about life, but still you are going to an entirely new environment. Now, if we guide that youngster today, that upskilling, reskilling is required at every doorstep of your life, that work culture is required, that patience is required. But what we are teaching our youngsters today is that, okay, weekends pe we have to do party. It's only Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. We have to head down and we have to work. And Friday to Monday, it's our time. We have to just party and we have to come back. We don't have to think about life. So the entire system is getting this wrong. Number one, what we are trying to solve at Skillena, and I'll give you the facts about this. Today, only 1,500 colleges receive placements out of 45,000 registered educational institutions in India. Less than even 10%. 10% is 4,500.
That was a
So आप
huge
मानो
number.
5% कॉलेजेस में प्लेसमेंट्स के लिए कंपनी आती है इंडिया में, बस 5% भी आर नॉट दी कॉलेजेस जिसमें पूरे बच्चे प्लेस हो रहे हैं. आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट फुल 100% प्लेसमेंट. आई एम जस्ट टॉकिंग ऑन एंड नॉट इवन अबाउट द क्वालिटी ऑफ प्लेसमेंट. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट दीज आर द कॉलेजेस दैट रिसीव प्लेसमेंट ऑफर्स एट लीस्ट. Rest 45,000 colleges,
Not getting paid.
40,000 colleges. Where
Not
they
getting.
where do they?
So this is the problem like we have to solve in India especially.
Yes, yes, for sure. So the huge gap between what are the skills required in the corporate and what is being taught in the campuses. Huge gap. So at the end of the day, somebody has to do it. And I'm as I told you earlier also, I don't carry actions of others and my past with me. So it's very simple that I'll work on myself. And that is what I
Okay.
started doing in my college first year when I started skilling. I started creating a platform that I and my friends could use to upskill and at the same time grab some WorkX opportunities. And that too at a very affordable price point. Now, when we talk about the masses, so we have to also take care of the price point of the product. You can't just go around and ask for a 10,000, 20,000 rupees course in tier 2, tier 3 India. So we kept the pricing very nominal. Still, our pricing is less than 2,000 averagely. The AOV is there. So what we have tried to do in a just in last 3 years is that we've tried to make quality skill dev education affordable and accessible for the masses of Bharat. That's what we have tried to do. अगर primary education हर बच्चे का right है, 14 साल तक की education is a mandate, it's a fundamental right that is given by the government of India. And after that, most of the cases में आप एक चाय वाले, गार्ड वाले या मैकेनिक या कुछ ऐसा ही बनोगे. So why not quality skill development education और job हर किसी बच्चे हर किसी youngster का right भी हो और हक भी हो. So that's what we are trying to do. So that's what we are creating at Skillarena, and that is very simple. And a huge amount of pain is related to it because I've seen myself and my generation struggling with jobs. Still, I see a lot of people in my batch who haven't been placed to their potential. They were tech guys and they're doing marketing jobs by not by choice, by virtue. So a lot is going wrong. And at the same time, underemployment is also a problem that you don't get your potential jobs. So you're worth suppose 15 LPA or 20 LPA. That's the ROI that you want after spending 20 lakhs in your education. But you're getting a job 3 LPA, 3.5 LPA, 4 LPA. So 5 years, 6 years down the line to at least recover your ROI. I'm not even talking about profit intake. I'm talking about the break even part would arrive around in 5 years, 6 years. And I don't know which sense of business or which sense of money or economics is this. So that is what is going wrong. And that is why we started scaling.
Okay. So like as a student, why would I choose Skill Arena over any other platform like Audacity or like we are talking about Udemy, any other skill platform? Why will I choose Skill Arena over these established players?
Perfect. So Vito would say never choose any if the gap was successfully fulfilled by any of the platforms, हमारी जगह ही नहीं बनती in the industry. Number one. 12 years Udemy, 11 years Coursera, I feel, or any multiple platforms that you talk about. These all are certification based platforms. Their main
Okay.
outcome of your life is to give you a certificate that you can flash on your LinkedIn's or you can add to your CVs or something like that. Right? So this is number one, that they give certifications. Now coming to their numbers, they've skilled every year around 3 out of 3 crore people of totally combined on these platforms, which is called MOOCs, massive online open courses. So जितने लोग इनमें enroll करते हैं, only 1 to top line 3% complete their courses.
Okay.
So 3 करोड़ में से 3 लाख. अब 3 लाख लोग सिर्फ सर्टिफिकेट के लिए कोर्स पूरा कर रहे हैं. So does it guarantee you that your skills have been enhanced? Nahi. So course is just like a library book that you have took into your life and you have read about it in a virtual format. That's what the course does. But what about hands-on? आपने वेबसाइट डेवलपमेंट thoroughly सीख लिया, but how to implement it now in the real world? Who's teaching you that? Very few platforms today also. So we are an outcome driven platform. We position ourselves for the tier 2, tier 3 masses of India. These platforms are not for the masses of India, they are for India A majorly, the top tier India that understands English and everything. They're well equipped and they're aware of Udemy. We talk about that India that is still struggling to find a decent employability job, and that is where we position ourselves. So one is obviously in the positioning side, that it's a blue ocean market. 60% youngsters still live in the tier 2, tier 3 and tier 4 and towns of India, where the penetration is not that strong of these edtech players. uh, we position ourselves there, number one. Number two, we are an outcome driven brand. We don't sell courses. We don't sell courses for the just sake of selling courses. We are not a course selling brand. We are an outcome oriented brand which serves a supply chain to the user. So we give courses, we give live projects, we give internships, and we give certification. So what we are trying to say, if you enroll with us for a ethical hacking program or sales and marketing or product marketing program, 30% would be a course, 30% would be a stimulation based live project where you'll be getting some hands on, 30% would be your internship, and 10% would be your certification. This course would be created and taught to you by a mentor who has handled $100 million of budget for marketing for Zykis. So
Okay.
that guy teaching you hands-on, especially to you for product marketing course, how to do product marketing hands-on in the market at a pocket-friendly price in which you would have given a treat to your friends. So
Okay.
that is where we position ourselves. Plus, you are getting a certificate. You are getting everything back. You're not just getting a certificate because HRs. I have done recruitment for years. We don't hire on the basis of certifications. So the most value something holds is the work ex that you offer, the skills that you have developed. So that is where we differentiate ourselves. We are an outcome driven skill development brand, and we are not a course selling company. Very different, and the positioning is very different, and the vision is very different. That we are, as we move forward every day, counting, we are trying to understand the landscape of Indian youth, so we can personalize stuff for them, and we can create something which actually solves their pain problem. Not like I've created a platform for the masses of the world. I have 1 million courses. What you want to pick yourself. So we are not doing that. This is India. We love products that are curated specifically for us, and at Skillena, we are actively, keenly trying to do that.
Okay, so like you are not a company which just give you the course and just forget you about you. Just we will get your money and like we are not. You will you have to do your course. You can do. Otherwise, you can leave it. It's just like that in other skills platform.
Yeah, so it's an outcome, as I told you, three stages. If you enroll for a program, we don't even market with courses. When we sell, we say it's a learning program, which comes with a course, which comes with a live project, which comes with an internship and a certification backing. So a user will go through these three stages in the next 3 to 6 months, and he or she, the ROI would be he or she is spending a pocket friendly price of around 1,000 to 2,000 rupees and ending up doing an internship which gives him or her a recurring income of 10 to 20,000 rupees a month. So that is the ROI that we give. So it's very simple. Invest 1,000 in yourself today, and start your skilling and financial and work ex journey with us, and start earning 10, 20, 30K bucks for you, yeah, for you and your family today. So that's the ROI that we position ourselves into.
So in last question, you had just talked about it. You can easily get like a course in around 1,000 or 2,000, which is equivalent to like giving party to your friends. But the main problem in Indian youth is that they don't want to spend on themselves. Like my friends also, if I say them na, let's do party, they are all agree in 1,000, 2,000, spending 2,000 rupees, 3,000. But if I say them, now, let's purchase a course in 1,000 rupees, even in 500, they are not agreeing. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so it's again a mindset problem. What you're talking about is a scenario that is happening in the prodigy or the privileged sections of the society today, right? Uh, a massive amount of section of India of youngsters lies where who don't even have resources to think about this education. So what I'm trying to say is we are not selling to, as I told you, we don't focus on tier one major. Uh,
Okay.
we are not selling to people who have already loaded families, who have their like iPhones and Macs, and they have subscription to multiple things. They have access to high speed data. We are talking about people who still find it difficult to even learn about stuff like Python in their colleges and schools. So
Okay.
we're talking about the masses of India. What you see today, you're talking about an example of your friends. These people, and you specifically, are in a college that charges you 5 LPA to 6 LPA an annum for your 2 semesters, right?
Yeah.
20 plus lakhs for. Uh, so when a person comes with that mindset and that capital in bank, so they are not thinking about the normal that what a course would do to me. They are very okay about because they know life is today. They can think about chilling. They can think about vibing. They can think about dripping. They can think about social media. I'm talking about youngsters whose total family income is 30K. And the only way to come out of that loop is to study or to do something in their life, to start a career, to get a job. So we are not positioning ourselves where we have to push sell. We are positioning ourselves where to the in front of the Bharat, where the push is not necessary and the pull is created automatically. So whenever you start a brand, you have to have the customer profiling very fine. You have to know who your customer is exactly, and it's not about कि आपने बोल दिया बस मेरा customer is anywhere anyone who's a youngster from 18 to 23. ऐसा नहीं है. आपका हर customer है ही नहीं 18 से 23 का. आपका customer वो है जो courses करना चाहता है, प्लस उसके पास नेट होना चाहिए,
Okay.
राइट? उसके पास मोबाइल फोन या लैपटॉप कुछ होना चाहिए, तो आपकी सेगमेंट तो ऑटोमेटिकली छोटी होती जा रही है ना. अगर आप फनल डाउन करके आओगे तो कुछ करोड़ लोग ही बचेंगे.
Okay.
सो ऐसे नहीं है कि बस बोल दिया कि भाई नहीं सब लोग आपके कस्टमर्स हैं या प्रोस्पेक्टेड कस्टमर्स हैं, ऐसे नहीं होता है. सो दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू आइडेंटिफाई एंड आई फील वी हैव आइडेंटिफाइड दैट एट द ब्रांड फॉर श्योर एंड दैट इज व्हाई वी हैव बीन successfully able to make a mark and leave a dent at least in these 3 years, and we are trying to even take this bigger. So yeah.
Okay. So, like in this recession period, when like jobs are not there, even tier one colleges are also students not getting placed. So, what role did skills play in this scenario? Like when there's a recession, jobs are very less. Company are very selective about candidates. So, what role will skills play, even in future also?
So I always say this, like degrees are like your passports and skills are like your visa, right?
Okay.
So you so there are factors in life. One is your controllable, one is your uncontrollable. Recession, companies not hiring, companies not coming, companies not interviewing candidates, not giving the desired packages. All of it is an uncontrollable factor. You
Okay.
crib, think, cry about it. What can you do? Nothing. Right. At the end of the day, all you can do is nothing about this. But on a different side, all you can do is you can focus on yourself in a better way. Right. If you were
Okay.
I always say this that adversities and poverty bring the best out of creativity in someone. So suppose you have challenges and today you need to find a solution. Somebody was born privileged. Today you are someone who's stuck at the juncture of how to get a placement where nobody is coming to my campus. So all you have to do is craft a new path that would help you even rethink your life in a different way. So now the challenge is that you have to go off campus. But coming to your point of skills, today I feel skills are not just uh, they should be a mandate; they are a necessity for everyone. And I, it's very simple. Look it at in this way that employers out there or recruiters are there are businessmen. They want to make business and profit. Number one, you at the other end are a human capital for them, human resource to them, right? Now, in the middle is a market of colleges, of schools, of off-campus placements. It's all a market of hackathons, the ways they hire, right? It's all like a market. I have a budget of 1 crore. I want to hire one individual, two individual, 10 individual.
Okay.
See it this way. So, if you are a talented guy, right, and if you have the equipped skills that are required for a perfect job, as an employer who wants to make profit, would I not hire you? I would hire you. Fact,
Definitely.
I just have to visit your market multiple times. Earlier, I was coming to your college, that was your market A. I was coming there multiple times, you had visited. Today, I am going to some hackathons, but I go there once in a year. That is your chance, right? So, understand this in a bird's eye view that if the recruiter has to stay in the market and if they want to make profits, they have to hire great candidates. It's just the matter of fact. Number one, are you a great candidate? And number two, do you are you at the right position at the right time with desired visibility to be in their radar at least? So I'll give you a very live example. I have a friend of mine, and he was getting placed for Meta. Meta was laying off across offices, across roles globally.
Okay.
Only 17 network engineers were not laid off, and they were even hired. And when everybody was being laid off, he was hired.
Okay. So what he did different, like about skills only.
The skills. Network engineering is something that is very crucial for brands like Meta, Google, and not
Okay.
much people know about it. So that guy went into it and made a space for himself in that market, which was tough, but it was not that competitive, or too many people were not there because the skill set was quite tough.
Okay.
It was not being taught in campus. He prepared himself with his skills to reduce the gap between campus and corporate. And he
Okay.
reduced it so much that he ended up going to Meta. So your skills will take you to places your degrees won't. Believe me.
So we are talking about the hiring process. So how do you hire in your company? Like what skill set you see in employee in your company?
We though hire very simple. We still don't have a hiring process. We are a good team now though. We are around 50 people. But we usually believe more on grooming. We don't hire exactly talented folks, because number one, we can't pay them that much. Where they talk about obviously plus 15 LPA, something a startup cannot afford multiple of such people at this level. So obviously that is a concern. But we have, as entrepreneurs, we are problem solvers. So we have decided and we came up with this. Why not hire a mediocre talent guy or girl, and groom them and invest them in, and then craft them into the individual we wanted. So
Okay.
we basically, and basis this, we hire on only three factors. We hire anyone on three factors, that is attitude, skill, and knowledge. So knowledge come at the last. Your attitude matters the most, because are you coachable? Are you a team player? Are you a winner? Are you a loser? Are you a sadist? Or like, how do you see life in general? Because if you're seeing life X, you can't see your work life as Y. So they are mutually symbiotic. What you do in office, most of the cases you will take home, and what you do at home, most of the cases you will take to your office the other morning. So it's not the other way around that you can cut down, because they are very symbiotic relationships, very overlapping. इसलिए लोग बोलते हैं कि वर्क कल्चर बहुत टॉक्सिक है, तो घर पे भी हम our personal life is being hampered because of the work culture of the company. So it's very symbiotic, right? So number one, we hire on ask, we hire on attitude, we hire then on skills. So suppose we are hiring for digital marketing, or we are hiring for project management, yeah, product management. So we'll ask you, do you know wireframing? Do you know user stories? Do you know prototyping? Do you know market research? Do you know uh, team collaboration or cross functionalities between the tech team and the PM team and the design team? Can you handle this? Is your communication good? So we'll ask you and grill you about your skills a bit. And then obviously knowledge, that have you done anything substantial to lay down the foundation of what you are speaking right now in the interview. So have you done any degree program, any course or anything? That comes the least though, but have you done anything on the side of the theoretical or systematic knowledge of it all as well? If you have not, show me the work X that you have done in the last 2, 3, 4, 5 months. What is your work X? If you're talking about that, I know wireframing. How can you say that you know wireframing? So the person has to give me a basis. By either I'll give them an assignment if I feel the candidate is good, but he or she hasn't worked. So I'll give them a what you say an assignment, take home assignment to come give it and submit, and we'll evaluate. Or we'll see have you done any course or any degree program into the specific field that you learned about this. Or at the least of it, we'll ask you show us your work X, which is the first thing that we even see. So these are the three things that we hire on: your attitude, your skill, and knowledge. Attitude and skill holds around 80% of the value. 20% is on knowledge, and that is what we have been following for the last 2, 3 years.
So, like, when did you started with the skill arena? How do you bring initial traffic, and how do you build a trust between you and your customer that he or willing to pay you?
Okay. So as I said कि मतलब to be very honest हमें पता भी नहीं था कि how to go about a GTM, मतलब what is your go to market, मतलब आप कैसे करते हो उसको, हमें बिल्कुल कोई आइडिया नहीं था कि कैसे यूजर ट्रैफिक लाया जाएगा. But what we have been always a strong believer of the fact is that we want to have organic reach over outbound reach. So हमने हमेशा से मतलब we created a quality product, that was number one. So after various failures also, we created a quality product for the users. तो ये बहुत solid था कि we were significantly strong on the product part at that particular time at least. Then we got to understand where our audience lies. So
Okay.
initially, we collaborated with societies, campus ambassadors of those colleges or those areas or localities, and we created a word of mouth in the market. And initial 100 customers came pretty quick, I feel in 4 or 5 days, and the initial 1,000 customers kicked in like 4 months, I guess, of the launch. And after that, rest everything happened and replicated with a multiplication virality effect. So everyone liked the product. The outcome was good. It was genuine. The team was supportive. We have a customer service response team that looks around your queries and your course concerns or anything that you have in a particular journey with us. So we gave them that comfort that any other brand was failing to do. So I always say this: ki your USP doesn't need to revolve always about your product. It can be also around your execution. It can be even a smallest of thing कि आपका customer support बहुत अच्छा है. So
Okay.
someday if you're into a CRM business, मैं आपसे ज़्यादा बात करूँगा because आप मेरे को comfortable feel कराते हो as a user.
Okay.
ठीक है. So that is what we focused. We got our basics right. We did some organic outreach in places where our audience was supposed to be, and by grace that we did that right. And in I guess 4 to 5 months, we were 1,000 customers out, and uh, we didn't spend anything on marketing by then. So it was like the total marketing would be less than 10K.
Okay.
And we were able to scale it to 1,000 users, each user paying you around 1,000 AOV. So that was the number we achieved in like 4 years, 4.5 years. 4 months, 4.5 months.
So are you a funded startup or like a bootstrap?
We are completely bootstrapped. We are proud to say we are bootstrapped and profitable yet, and we are planning to raise soon. But abhi tak we haven't felt the need to raise funds because we are still filling our own gaps. We also have pitfalls. We also have shortcomings. We also have loopholes in our. Uh, every system has certain inefficiencies, and we
Yeah.
also have certain. We possess them. So, and we are open enough to accept that we have areas to work. And when you take money from someone outside, be it an angel, be it an investor or anyone, you have to be very insightful about how to use that money. And because it's somebody else's hard work money that you are playing around now the show on, so you have to see around with this. And that's why we've been very insightful and particular about when to take money, why to take money, and like how much we need to take. So before that, obviously, when we are going for a fundraise, we are taking care of all our basics. We are getting all of it revamped, and we are coming full throttle and with full power so that we can uh, go around with the funding part. So that is about the fundraise.
Okay, so like because after the Shark Tank, in the like every startup want to raise funding. That's why I specifically ask this question about funding because people generally don't understand that after taking funding, you are answerable to someone. So you can't just go and like take funding. That's my main point. Like, what is the benefit of working as a bootstrap startup? Because we know what is the benefit of a funded startup, but what is the benefit of a bootstrap startup?
So the benefit is like you have full ownership of your control. You have less stakeholders, less decision makers, and you can instantly take decisions, rethink. If you're out of some plan, you can rethink, reevaluate, come back and execute. Uh, in obviously a funded startup, you on majority big decisions uh, where you take some decisions on the company leadership or something like that. You have to take care of the stakeholders as well. So I don't have much clue about how a funded startup works because I'm not one, and I have couple of friends. I feel 10, 12 friends who have good 500 to 1,000 crore brands, and they're doing absolutely fine. But I haven't been keenly observing how the reaction of stakeholders and the founder relationship goes around. But I don't feel it is that smooth. It's also a art and it's also a job of a founder then to do it. Abhi, as of now, you're more focused on building products, shipping them up, understanding your customer, and like do that. And plus, you can also prioritize quality over quantity and numbers. The case that happened with Byju's, that you over push sell or you upsell aggressively and you become a sales company that that you never expect for a brand to happen. So that is also a demerit because when you take a lot of money, outsider money to into the company, you are responsible and answerable to that the entire stakeholder management, that what are you using with this money and how much you're going to pay back or what you're going to do. So then obviously ethics can also be questioned and you have to take calls that you necessarily don't have to take. So this is, but at the same time, the mindset of having a funded startup is not it's not below or above anything. Both of them are right, and being a funded startup has its own perks. Because if you want to make it big, you have to play around with big people. So you every brand has their own funding, and it's not with them. It's not with just with these startups. You check around Reliance Foundation, Reliance Group, RIL also has you say a debt funding or funding equity based funding of around 1 lakh crore. So they also have funding. They also have credit lines. They also have ODs. They have everything with banks and open hedge funds or what you say your public investors. and they have multiple money coming in. So my business is only made with the uh, carrying forward of others' money into your business, creating something big, minusing the investment, and then paying it back with some profits. So that is very simple. So if I want to make 10 lakh crore, I need to have 1 lakh crore at least in my account. If I want to make 10 crore an annum, I have to have 1 to 2 crore in my account to make it happen. So this is the rule. So either it is because of your own capital that you invest, either it is because the profits that you make. But if you want to scale fast, you need to have funds in your account. So both of them are right, but yes, everything comes with their own challenges. As a bootstrap founder, you cannot take decisions on the capital part every day because you have to think कि भाई हमारे पास इतना पैसा है भी या नहीं that we'll survive. So
Okay.
survival is the biggest thing, and both of the cases bring their own challenges to the survival of the brand.
Okay. So, like we often in me in present scenario, we often talk about importance of saying no, especially in startup culture. So, are you ever in a situation when you want to say no to someone, but you eventually said yes to someone because of influence of that person? So, what like do you have any story
So
behind
there are cases मतलब बहुत सिंपल है देखो ये भी मैं आई एम ट्राइंग टू गिव एन एडवाइस आई एम ट्राइंग टू टेल यू ओनली टू यू कि क्या सही है क्या गलत है आप अपनी ऑडियंस को या किसी को भी बताओ तो वो अलग चीज़ है बट आई एम ट्राइंग कि मैं आपकी लाइफ में क्या वैल्यू ऐड करता हूँ सो आई एम टेकिंग दिस पॉडकास्ट लाइक दिस तो कई बार ना लाइफ में चॉइस होती है सही गलत की और कई बार होती है सही में और क्या ज़्यादा सही है उसमें so going to a
it?
podcast is also right. Going to a event is also right. Going to a networking event, a guest lecture or a guest show is also right. Everything is right. Right? You are getting branding. But
Okay,
प्रोडक्ट भी तो बनाना है, टीम को भी
definitely.
संभालना है, सेल्स भी देखनी है, तो क्या ज़्यादा सही है? तो नंबर 1 तो ये कि सही और सही में क्या सही है? We have to
Okay,
also choose this at certain times as founders. Number one. Number two, कई बार क्या होता है कि yes, we have to. Most of the cases, I prefer to say no upfront when I am not capable of doing something or I don't have limits or bandwidth to pull off something. But there are certain relationships that you have to maintain that you see कि भाई ये long term relationships हैं and they'll help me as a personal at a personal and professional both level if I move forward with this. So obviously you have to think long term at times. So कई बार क्या होता है you have to take a call upfront कि भाई हाँ है या ना है वो एक अलग
okay,
चीज हो गई. But if it's about a relationship that I have with someone who's senior into the industry and I understand कि भाई this guy has been with me since day one or early stage of my journey. So and he or she is going to stay with me for a longer period of time. So someday if I have to take a knee down and say a yes also. So I'll do this. But obviously it
okay,
has to match my ethics. It has to match my principles of running a business. Uh, Basis that only. And if you have a long term relationship with someone, yes, you have to take certain calls where you don't want to do it fully, but you feel like there's no harm. Let's try it for that guy once. And yes, that's about business. So relationship management is a very key tool. तो yes and no उसके बीच में एक पार्ट लाया करता है that we have to do but yeah that's about it.
okay. So, as a founder, what is the importance of knowing about the tech or especially AI? Like, if I talk about specifically about you, what would be different in skill arena if you are not from a tech background?
ठीक है so I come from a tech background but I'm myself a non-tech founder. I don't know much about tech. I
Okay,
understand product management very well. I know how to build products, ship products. uh, Consumer insight is my forte. Building products is my forte basically, but the development side of it, I don't know much. So I don't get into front end. I know what needs to be built. I don't know
okay,
how it needs to be built. So I hire people for that and they build it. Obviously, I have to give them the vision, the roadmap, everything. So I don't feel ki as a founder you should. I'll tell you one thing today. Uh, Entrepreneurship is not about knowing everything from day one. It's about
okay,
thinking about everything from day one. So entire journey is going to be thinking. if you're thinking from day 1 to day 600 of your startup journey, and you are, after thinking, you land up to a situation and you are ready to learn. So the think and learn mechanism is going well. Then as a founder from any domain, you are a sales founder, you are a agri-tech founder, you are a founder, not non-tech founder, you are a young founder, you are a middle-aged founder, or you are a old-age founder. Everything is going to work if your think to learn mechanism is going well. You think and you know how to learn something, then I feel it makes no difference to you and your life. Everything would be sooner or later things are going to happen. So ऐसा नहीं है कि tech आना ही चाहिए. It is a necessary thing that you can have. You can hire people for that, or you can onboard a CTO for that. Multiple things are there. बट ऐसा नहीं है कि सब कुछ आपको आना चाहिए. अब आपको टेक आता है बट आपको सेल्स और मार्केटिंग रेवेन्यू नहीं आता,
Okay.
तो एक एक ही चीज आ सकती है, राइट? तो आप अपना स्पेशलाइजेशन पकड़ो और बाकी के लिए लोग और टीम बिल्ड करना शुरू कर दो.
So, are there any upcoming project we can expect from Skillarena if you like want to share?
So we are building something on the employment landscape of India. We are trying to revolutionize the skilling and job sector with our products. A lot is coming in, and I'm not going to reveal this here on the podcast. You have to wait for that. Everyone is
Okay.
waiting. So we are trying to ship something very soon in the July August month, and something very special, something very what you say, problem solving and impactful for freshers, specifically 0 to 3, 0 to 5 years of experience range people, the early career graph in the industry. So we are building something very special and we are building it for the masses. That's all I can say as of now. So we're trying really hard to invest in the youth of the country with our small activities and impacts.
Okay, so as an entrepreneur, would you like to give any advice to the students who are looking to start their own venture? Like when
So
they
I
just
would I would just say, एक तो कि don't do entrepreneurship for just the sake of doing entrepreneurship. Like it's cool. We have seen him, we have seen him, we have seen her. They are doing so much stuff. They're making money. They are buying expensive cars. This is not what entrepreneurship is about. Matlab, all of this can be perks and all of this can be collaterals or materialistic sidelines. But at the end of the day, as I told you, purpose is something that brings your passion on board. So, what is your purpose for doing entrepreneurship or starting up? Because it's going to be really tough. So, I have no doubt that you cannot do it or you can do it. It's completely your call. Your purpose defines it how well you're going to do it. So this is number one. So do it for your own sake, for your consumers, for your insight, for what is the change that you want to bring in. Number one, do it for this, right? Don't just for the sake of entrepreneurship, for podcasts, for shows, for Shark Tank. Don't do this, right? It's not going to last for much long. Matlab, 5 saal, 6 saal, things are going to be bad then if the purpose is not clear. Number two is that before I see the world talking about tech, and tech, but at the same time, you have to see that how many tech platforms are successful and how many non-tech platforms have made businesses in past. Haldiram is not a is not a tech platform, but they've made a 50-60,000 crore business. Right. So business has nothing to do with what you say is that it cannot last without tech. Business is different. Tech is for skill. Tech is for fastening, speed. Tech is for relatability, credibility in today's world. So tech is a tool, a medium to go out and expand your business and position yourself at places where you can do it manually,
okay.
right? So tech is for your own when you it's just a medium of doing business in today's era. Something other can come in uh, 2030, new techs can come, but the business principles remain the same,
Okay.
right? So before developing a website, before going live with an app, or उसपे 10, 20, 50 user भी ना आए, go around and study your consumers first. The basic principle of shipping a product, launching a product, starting a business is to understand your customer profile very well. कि उन्हें चाहिए भी नहीं चाहिए, चाहिए तो किस प्राइस पे चाहिए. At least talk to 1,000 people through surveys, through calls, through LinkedIn, through various channels. And believe me, लोग बोलते हैं ना पीएमएफ नहीं आता, 1,000 कस्टमर कैसे आ गए. अगर आप उन 1,000 कस्टमर का ही पेन पॉइंट लेके तुरंत सॉल्व कर दोगे ना, ऑटोमेटिकली आपके पास 1,000 कस्टमर्स आ जाएंगे, बिकॉज आप कुछ ऐसी चीज बना रहे हो जो उनको ऑलरेडी चाहिए थी.
Okay. So
तो
like
आसान हो जाएगी आपकी जर्नी अगर आप ये दो चीजों का ध्यान रखोगे कि योर पर्पस brings your passion. It should be very clear. And number two, before getting into tech, tech is a medium. Tech is not just for coolness and art. It's a medium of doing business in today's era. Business principles remain the same. You have to know your customer really, really well. Go out, understand what they do, what they behave, how they look, what they do, their purchasing power, their educational background, and then build something. So that
okay.
would help you really, really save time and really, really help you in the business. Hmm.
Okay, so Bhaiya, we are like near to the end of our podcast. So it will be like a quick rapid fire round, okay? And I will be
जी
asking you 4 5 questions, and you have to
जी
answer them as fast as possible. Okay, so
perfect.
ready?
जी perfect.
Okay, one word to describe your journey.
Adventurous.
If you weren't an entrepreneur, what career would you choose?
Sports athlete, football player.
Okay, one thing you wish you could know before starting your venture.
That I need to hire people with great character rather than people with great talent.
Favorite quote that motivates you.
Favorite quote तो बहुत सारे होंगे, but I
Okay,
feel very simple that I see every day is believe and become. It's by Nike, I guess, or Star Sports. I'm not sure. I was a player then, so I used to remember this every time. Believe, become.
okay. Your favorite way to unwind a busy day.
Uh, Driving. I love cars, so driving specifically, and
Okay.
music and good food, home cooked food, and I'm done.
Okay. So thank you. So any last piece of advice you want to give to our audience? Some
Nothing much. I feel the audience is smart enough, and the people of this generation know really well. I just feel they just need to channelize their priorities and energies of life, and it's good to go. Matlab, we are in this uh, demographic dividend of India where we can achieve a lot, and the fate lies in our hands. So we have to be responsible about what we do and how we do it ethically, and we don't have to majorly seek out for advices from the West. We are self-sufficient, and there's a lot in our history and our recent changes the country has seen to learn massively and grow immensely in the future. So that's about it.
okay. So thank you, Shrey, for joining us. Like, guys, please don't miss to share this video and like this video, and please let me know in comments below what lesson you learned from Shrey. So, and guys,
Thank you,
please
Aryan.
don't forget to check out Skill Arena. That Skill Arena is really a great platform. I have also checked out the Skill Arena. Their courses are really great. So please check. Definitely, Shreya.
Thank you, Aryan. Thanks for having me. And do continuing doing this, even if you get into a job or placement somewhere or you start your own business, still pursue this because it will give access to a lot of people and great minds. So and इससे बहुत सारे लोग शायद ये conversation सीख पाए, मतलब आगे कभी फर्स्ट ईयर कोई आए तो वो पॉडकास्ट देख पाए, उसको समझ आए, तो कंटेंट इज देयर टू स्टे. तो good job, man, and commendable करते रहो. That's all I have for you.
Thank you, Shreya. We will definitely have another one podcast with you.
Sure, man, sure.
Okay. Thank you.